Okay, so what we have here is my customer called me, said their walk-in cooler was at 0 degrees. So we had a temperature issue. Now, we've been seeing these a lot around lately in towards the city, and this is some sort of energy management system that I believe they get from the power company, and the power company promises all kinds of stuff. So basically, this bypasses my temperature control inside and controls everything with sensors that are in the coil, and you can stop the fans. You know, when you load, you press that and it stops for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. They suck. We've ripped out 1,000 of these things. Right now it says cooler number 2 10 degrees, which I believe is the freezer, and this cooler number 1 says 36 degrees. So we're at temp, but this is in bypass mode. So I just put my temperature probe in there about 5 minutes ago, and we are running at 36, so that is correct. So what I'm going to do right now is just crank this. All right, temperature control clicks on, everything turns on. And we're going to turn it back up. Temperature control clicks off, and everything turns off. The condensing unit is outside. Okay, so before I go and rip out the temperature control, I just turned it up to 100 degrees. Basically, I want to make sure that the solenoid valve isn't leaking by. So I went outside, and I'm going to hook up the gauges, and I'll show you what I found. My gauges are hooked up. My pressures, my low, just below 0. My head, 150. So we're not pumping down and shutting off. So we got either two issues. Either the compressor valves are a little bit meh, or the solenoid valve is leaking by. It's a very simple way to confirm that. And what we're going to do is we are going to front seat this king valve here. Okay, all the way. We're going to turn that temperature control down to as low as it'll go to open it up, and basically we're going to pump the system down, and we're going to see if that low side goes any further down. If that low side goes further down, this thing pumps down and shuts off, then our solenoid valve is leaking by. Which I don't think it is. I have a sneaking suspicion that it is just the valves are a little bit funktacular. Alrighty, so crank that down as low as it can go, and we'll see if it pumps down and shuts off. Judging by how long this has taken, I'm pretty sure it's the compressor valves that are a little bit on the edge there. So what we can do, since if we leave it the way it is, the compressor is never going to shut off. We can let it pull down as low as it can go, and then we can adjust the pressure control to kick it off, so at least it'll shut off. We know it's keeping temp, and we know this is going to be an issue down the line, probably during the summer, but at least we can, you know, we know what's happening. We know that we have an issue with the compressor. Yeah, judging by how slow that's going, that's not exactly kosher. So, try to see if I can get a light in here and see what this pressure control is set at. Good thing is that it's an adjustable control. And it's set at so we kind of want it to cut out about now. So let me go get a flathead and I'll adjust that. All right. All right, shut off right there. Let's see where we're at right now. Come on. I cut out at like 0 or just above 0 for that. All right, so we're going to leave that there so at least we know that our compressor now shuts off, and we are going to replace that temperature control because we know that we had an issue with that because it was down to 4 degrees, and we're going to rewire it. So let's get to doing that. All right, first things first, we're going to figure out how to shut this off, see if there's a service switch inside. I don't think there is. No, come right out through that box. So, is there a service switch in this box? Nope, just a time clock. Okay, so let's go find a breaker panel. I don't know if they're down here. Breaker panels are right here. Okay, so now we're going to replace this control, and we're going to get rid of this garbage here. And we're not going to leave it just hanging like they did over there. So basically, we're going to take this off and see exactly how they did this debacle. All this is going south. Now, the theory behind this was that it would shut the refrigeration off if there wasn't that high of a load on it and use the residual cooling of the coil to cool the box. It was just weird, and it never really worked right, and the older they get, the crappier they become. So we've just been giving them the heave-ho when we see them. On this yacht. Alrighty, so all of this here is non-original. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start from le scratch. All right. We're just gonna, we're starting from scratch. Make life easier. This here. Give them the snips. 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 don't know what all of that is going to. That's going across the coil to something. Probably over here. That's probably the bypass control. Yeah, solenoid's right here. Kind of hate when they put the solenoids on the outside of the unit. You know. I mean, not that it really matters, it just irks me a little bit. Okay. And we got this masterpiece in here. Okay, so, yeah, all of this is going south. So that's still hooked up to the solenoid harness, which is what we want. The other wire of this here is going to be hooked back up to this solenoid harness where it belongs. Sorry if it's a little dark in here, but this here, this whole mess here, and that's coming from the temperature control, which is all this. That is trash, all of that, and yeah, okay. So actually, I don't even want to mount that like that. We're doing a full gut on this thing, huh? That's what we're doing. So. There already. That's what we're doing. What is that? That's ground. Why would you loop a ground like that? This whole unit is grounded. The box is grounded to this. Why would you ground that? Okay. So, get rid of this. This, all that off. And that placed gently on the floor. Which means that these can go. Don't need to go over there anymore. Not sure what that white wire is, or there's black wire, but we're just going to leave those intact. I think those are fan wires. This is the solenoid harness. These are probably the fans. These are what we need for power in this here. Whole nightmare. This is what I mean by touching things that they shouldn't touch. Put this back up. That wasn't even tight. Well, it's tight now. Unclip, and just gently remove this. now that we did that, we can go up here and remove, that should blank that out. That didn't blank that out. Where's that being fed from? Fed to this, to that, and then the other thing. All right, so I gotta disconnect those transformers. No big deal. I'll deal with that after. Now we just got this masterpiece. So we got a, excuse me. I don't know why we got 3 wires. Should only have 2, but that's no big deal. Remove this. Solid harness. So white is going to be my neutral. And oh, that's why they had 3 wires. So they had one was constant power to the fans, and the other one was through the time clock, and that's what controlled the solenoid from the time clock side. I get what they did. Okay, I get it now. Okay, so let me just 100% confirm something over here. So my yellow is constant power, and my red is my switched, and my white is my neutral. Alrighty. Let me see. Let me get a dokie. So what we gotta do, take 4 off of here. And this one here is also stranded. Okay, so that's better. And we're gonna come up here with our yellow wire, which is constant power, and we're gonna go to our fan. We're gonna take our switched side and go to one side of this and make sure I figure out what side it is. Not that it really matters, but we'll use this, make sure we got the smooth side for our power. So when the time clock triggers, it's gonna kill power to my temperature control, which in turn kills power to my solenoid, and then all of my neutrals go together. So this will be the neutral coming back from the solenoid, and this will be the neutral coming back from my fan. And that is much neater than that was. So now over here, what we need to do is, here is our solenoid. Let me make sure that that's the rib side, which I think it is. If it is, that's great. So, yep, rib side constantly to the solenoid. And then, let me give you guys a light so you can see. Rib side constantly to the solenoid. This side here, one side of this is going to go to my temperature control. The other side of my temperature control is going to go to this. And we're going to mount our control right here. And we are going to use a air coil. So I brought both flavors down, and we're going to use one of these. So let me run out to my truck, and actually I don't even need to run out my truck. We're going to recycle. We need wire. We got plenty of wire here, right? This is more than enough and more than thick enough to switch the solenoid. So we'll use a red, right? We'll do the red. This control is universal. It's for heating and cooling, close on rise or open on rise. And we want close on rise, which is bottom and top. A couple of self-tappers. There's not that I'm going to hit on the other side of that wall. Just double check. Line up with that hole. One zippy zap. Snug down. We set that. This is the differential setting. I set it usually about halfway in between the minimum and the next line up. And then take another one of these. I could use a regular chase here, the one I took out, but this will allow me to clamp the wire and make sure that nobody pulls on it. Not that I think anybody's going to pull on it, but you never know. Like that. There's those two wires I just made up right here. Did I not? There you go. Losing my mind today. Okay, there. There. Tight. There we are. one here. Set that for 35 degrees, which is right about there. And then we basically need, it's already got a wire nut here, so we just need one wire nut. And we're going to take these and make sure we got plenty of room and we're not really rubbing up against as little amount of stuff as possible. Looks good. Cut that back. Cut that back. That looks kind of ugly. Get back to better, cleaner wire. I don't know if this is coming out on the video or not because it's kind of dark back here, but we got what we got. Same thing with this. We'll give it a little bit of a cleaner side here. This coil doesn't look that great. It is older with a year on it. It is 2002. She's got some age, so now my power is coming from the time clock to this wire right here, going into my temperature control, coming out of my temperature control, and feeding my solenoid, like so, like that. So we're successfully rewired, and we basically just removed this bloody debacle here. And now we just gotta more or less shut this thing down. The way we do that is fed off of those 24-volt transformers, which are fed directly in the back of this. So technically you just snip, snip, and then that top one there. This one here. Snip and snip. And that is now dead. Now these aren't, this wiring here is not 120 volt. This is all low voltage wiring. I don't even think it's secondary 16 volt, 20 amp. So it's not even 24 volt. This one's 24 volt. So we just tuck that back up there, and we're successfully jumped out, and we're leaving all this stuff up here. And now I'm gonna go turn the breaker on, and we should get fans. Okay, our fans are on, and hopefully if we did everything correctly, if I take a screwdriver, crank this up to 100, we should hear the solenoid click, which we do, and then click, 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 click. Okay, so I'm going to set this to 35 degrees. Okay, so everything is all set now. The time clock up here, I set to the correct time. It didn't have any pins in it, so if we ever need it, we could put pins in it and use it as a defrost clock. Since there weren't any to begin with, I'm not going to put any in, screw something up. This whole debacle is now removed. This is not controlling anything. That's not getting any power. That's done. We're just back to normal operation. That condensing unit, as I said, we have adjusted the pressure control so the compressor actually shuts off now. I'll let them know about that, just since the unit's an O2, see if they want to put it on, the short list for replacement. It's kind of getting to that time, especially if I can't really pull below 0 on that compressor. It was keeping temp. I just have a feeling that we'll have an issue with it in the hotter months. So I just want to let them know, give them that option. Right now, all I'm going to do is going to go into the box, set that temperature control to the correct temperature, and double check the temperature of the box with my digital control and make sure our temperature swing is where it should be. And then we're pretty much done here.